Hey guys, good to see you tonight. I'm here with some of my friends from Freedom who are business owners, entrepreneurs, authors, people in the marketplace ministry, and we call it ministry here. Um, Tonight, we're going to talk about love, and I want you, if you have any questions about business, about being an author, about inventing something, and you're an entrepreneur, you have any question about getting started, because they all had to get started, or any question about business that you're involved in right now, I want you to send it in. Now, I'm not going to tell them, I'm going to be watching, uh, but I'm not going to tell them who it is. I'm just going to say, hey, we have a person here that has a question, because they may know you. And I want this to be a prophetic time tonight. So we're going to have some prophetic interaction. We have already prayed. We were even prayed over by Dr. Marilyn Hickey tonight. That was special.
Yes,
That was
yes.
great. So tonight, we're so glad you're with us. I want to, Glenda Ennis from Houston is with us. Hello, Glenda. We have TJ Fabi watching. I wore one of your t-shirts the other day that said freedom on the back. Pastor Michael Holmes, Janie Geary, Carol Dama, Stuart Jide. That's some of the people that have logged on. 11 others that are watching on somebody's watch party. And there we are. I see us on there. So we had lunch today for the first time. We usually have been doing Zoom meetings, but today we met for the first time and had Mexican food, and that was a lot of fun. I love being with my friends and love sharing what God is doing. Several years ago, when we didn't have any business owners in the church at all, not one, and just praying, God, give us some business owners, calling people. Christy, you were probably in the church then at the very beginning, I think.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and you even have a story over the last couple years of how this has affected you when we call for business owners to stand or come forward. Tell us about that.
Well, for the last couple years, occasionally on Sundays, you'll ask if you guys own a business or if you want to own a business, if you'll stand and we'll pray, just blessing over your business. And I've stood thinking and feeling like, Lord, I feel like I'm supposed to have a business. I'm supposed to do something, but I didn't have an idea. And I did that for about 2 years. And then about 6 months ago, I was in a junior high basketball game talking with a friend, and I had this great idea and filled out the paperwork, got everything in place starting in March. And then since then, I'm now in the process of concluding my second contract with the business. So it's been a blessing.
Yeah, that's great. So I remember thinking, we need some businesses. We need some business owners. And started praying, and now we have quite a few. This is just a portion of our business owners here at Freedom. Pastor Dwayne is on tonight from Mexico. Dewana had to not take your call because we had just gone live, and she said, "Does he know there's a contract?"
Yes.
You tell him.
We don't know yet. I'm waiting to find out if we got that house. And as soon as I find out on my phone, I will let you know.
So Dewana is a realtor, and Dwayne is a missionary. Dwayne and Julia Martin are missionaries in Mexico and buying a house here in Waxahachie. So she's helping with that. We have Ernie and Brenda watching tonight, and Kiara Daniels, and let's see who else is on here. Tiffany Munoz, your mama's watching. Kathy Jones, Chelsea Raggio. So we got some good folks on here tonight. Here's how we're going to start. This week, we are on the devotion every day about love. We're doing the fruit of the Spirit for 9 weeks. And so this is Love Week. And so we're going to start off tonight talking about love in the workplace. He's like, oh, we don't need love in the workplace. Not that kind of love. We don't want to get sued or anything crazy going on. We're talking about really the fruit of the Spirit. And as a believer, our leaders foundationally are believers first, and then they're business owners. Everything we put Jesus first in. So Jesus is first in our church. He's first in our family.
Yes.
He's first in our business.
Yes.
So we don't compartmentalize and be one thing over there and one thing. We're just the same. We're homogenized milk. That means it's all shaken together. So tonight we're going to talk about, just to give you little snippets of a facet of love that needs to work right from you as a business owner, an entrepreneur, a boss, manager, how love works out in the workplace. Then I want you to think of your question that you have about business, that you're needing direction on, or you're wanting some insight, and I want you to send it in, text it in, and we're going to do some prophetic interaction tonight. So we're going to start, first of all, with Ken Gates, and he's going to talk about how love is patient. So they're each going to take about a minute, minute and a half, and just expound on this. So Ken, tell us about how love is patient.
Thanks, Pastor. Yeah, love is patient. It's interesting that patience is the first thing that's listed because it's really one of the most important parts of love, because we have to be patient with one another. We have to be patient with our business to develop it. We have to be patient with our employees. We have to be patient with our vendors. We have to be patient with so many people. And it's the first thing, because without that as the foundation, patience, then we're not going to be able to deal with all the ups and downs and difficulties of business, because dealing with people, dealing with different things, dealing with disappointment requires us to be patient and take things to the next level as a business. So love is patient.
That's good, Ken. Thank you for that. I want to tell some more people hi. I saw Donna Odd is on here. Donna, next week, the fruit, this week it's strawberry. Next week is coconut. And I know you make a wonderful coconut pie with meringue. I don't know if you want to see me on one of the devotionals, and I can say this is from the bakery of Donna Odd. Business transaction there. Okay, Amy Chan said to tell you a shout out to Mandy Owen. Chanel Dietz, hi Chanel, is watching. So that's great. Okay, next we have Dewana talking about being kind in business.
Yes, thank you, Pastor. This is really a pivotal point in business because I'm in the service industry, as he said, I'm a realtor, and I'm constantly serving people. And really, we want to have the heart of Christ when we're in our business. We want to serve people. And people really can look into our hearts. Mm-hmm. They can see what we're feeling and how we're responding to them. And if we put their needs above our own, and we are truly, truly trying to be kind to them, trying to give them great service, they see that, just like they see when we don't give them good service. And if you want to have a client or a customer for life, they want to know that you care about them, and they want to know that you're treating them kindly. And Christ teaches us to do that. So this is really a big key element. And I think the more that we get into 2020 and beyond, people have so many options. They have so many opportunities for every kind of thing you can possibly imagine, that they are looking for someone who will truly care about them and treat them with true kindness. And I think that's the way to keep a customer for life, as well as to have the heart of Christ while you're doing it.
Right. And we do want customers for life.
We do.
That's powerful. Now, Lawanda's going to talk, Lawanda Holder, about love does not envy.
Okay, so Pastor John, I got to go back to what you taught us about 100% of what we do comes out of our devotion.
Yes.
He's laughing at me because I try to give people 1% grace and say 99. But I've been corrected. I know set me free. But envy, we can't, if we're operating out of that place of envy, our life isn't anchored well enough in the love of God. And envy, we see it commonly in the workplace or in business when there's unhealthy competition, and that's how the world does things. But we don't operate dog eat dog. God has called us to operate in kingdom principles, and it's direct opposite of the way the world does things. And so if we are operating from a place of envy and wanting to take something that isn't ours, or take something from someone else, a position, a contract, etc., then we are producing the works of the flesh there. And we're not honoring God, and we're not aligning with kingdom principles.
Okay, thank you for sharing that. That is good. Next, we have Christine, I think. Yes, Christine is going to talk about love does not boast.
Well, I own a publishing company, so I work with writers. Every writer I know loves the writing process, but when we get to the finished product, we have a book, and the promotion aspect is painful.
Yeah.
It really is. And I don't know any writer that likes that aspect. But What I do when I coach a writer from the very get-go, I tell them you need to be interceding for and praying for those that are going to read your book, because that way you're partnering with God to offer solutions to those that you are really going to minister to. So when you get to that place of you have a finished product, it's not you, look at what I've done, patting myself on the back. It's you've been partnering with God to meet a need. You're basically just holding out that cold cup of water that somebody out there is thirsting for, and God's been preparing it for them, and that's what you're doing. So you're offering hope and solutions instead of look at what I've done.
That's good. That's good. We'll tell some more people hi. Let me see. We have Shelly, my wife, says, "Hey guys." Pastor Michael said, "Such a great group of leaders right there." I agree with you, Pastor Michael. Great people here. Stacy Morgan, hi. Melody Holmes, Greg Bell, Steve Sierra. Love all you guys. Next, we're going to hear from Christy Slate that love is not proud.
Yes, well, pride has a negative connotation because it comes out of an inner motive of me, what I can do, what I can accomplish, and it's all about me, the person, where really what we need to have in business is confidence. And confidence is it's a belief that I have the ability with God's help, with God's strength, I can do these things. I'm going to step out. And honestly, it comes down to the motive. Is the motive going to be based out of pride, or is it based out of confidence? And that's why we need to have confidence, not pride.
That's good. Thank you, Christy. Next, we're going to hear from, Ellie about love does not dishonor. But let me remind you, if you're on here tonight, we want you to send questions in. I'm not going to tell them who it's from. Anything about business. If you're thinking of starting a business, if you're thinking of closing a business, if you are an inventor or you want to write a book, you're not sure how to get started, we want you to send in, or your problems that you have with business. Send them in, and I'm going to throw them to these. We've already prayed. We're believing that the Lord is going to give a prophetic word of wisdom to you tonight to help you see clearer, to get you on course. So, Ellie, if you talk about how love does not dishonor.
Yeah, thank you, Pastor. Yeah, my name is Ellie Gates, and I teach business actually at Southwestern Assemblies of God. But prior to that, I was in human resources for a very long time. And let me tell you, my office was full of people that got there because they dishonored something. And, you know, Romans 12:10 says, "Be devoted to one another in love and honor one another above yourselves." And so the scriptures tell us that this is something we need to do. And that is so easy to do with people that you like, and so hard to do with that person that just got on your last nerve, or is that one that you never want to see in the meeting. And there's just a trap for dishonor in the workplace. But, you know, honoring is really about treating one another equitably. It is about speaking well of others when they're not in the room. It is trusting the Lord with disagreements, and, you know, standing up for those that can't speak for themselves. But one of the ways, too, that I think honoring really happens as a manager is giving feedback to your employee, or to even a peer or your boss, in a way that is honoring. Anybody can give feedback that makes someone cry, but it's a whole different thing to give them feedback honoring their dignity, honoring that we are all have some weaknesses and that we're all growing, but to give them feedback in a way that motivates them to do even better is definitely honoring them.
Thank you, Ellie. Wow, that's helpful. I appreciate that. I want to tell some more people hi, and then we're going to hear from Jeff. This is a tough one. Love is not because you think, when I'm going into business, it's all about me. Well, you're going to find out a little different once you get into business. It's not all about you. Tommy Hunter from California, he and Michelle say, "Hey, y'all." He said it right. Hey, you guys. We love you. Anthony Fouts, your daddy's watching. We love Anthony. And let me see who else we have. Pastor Ben Linker is with us tonight. We love Pastor Ben. Brenda Horvath says, "Great words of wisdom." Yes. And we want to give some more words of wisdom. So y'all send in some questions. Okay, let's look at love is not self-seeking. Jeff, help us out there.
Thank you, Pastor. I am a co-founder of a digital software agency, and that process is very complex. We need programmers, we need artists, we need designers, and it's a team sport.
Mm-hmm.
There's I couldn't get anything done without the team. I'm blessed to have a business partner that I've worked with for 20 years. And the clients that we go to, that come to us, they know that we are going to put their best interests at heart. We're not going to cut corners, and they know that our team is going to make decisions to deliver excellence for them. By doing that, we develop trust, and they know that when they come to us with a project, we are going to do that with excellence. But because of that, they come back to us, and we have return customers for years.
That's good. Thank you, Jeff. And that's great. That's good advice. Denise Rogers, that's Pastor Corey's mom, is watching. Hello, Denise. Chelsea Groomer. Pastor Tommy Hunter says, love, my favorite subject, and he calls me the love pastor. Hey, I take that. Tommy's special. And we got our first question in, so get those questions in that you have about business, ideas, thoughts. Okay, now we have Mandy is not easily angered.
Well, my name is Mandy, and I oversee several different teams, different personalities. And when we are overseeing teams, like Jesus, when Jesus was building his team, he didn't get easily angered. He was very patient. He was very kind. He loved us. He was accepting of mistakes. He would teach us over and over again and build us up and mentor us. And in business, we do the same thing. If we are hot-tempered, if we snap easy, if we're hypercritical, then our team members are going to shrug back. They're not going to be effective. They're not going to come to you with mistakes, and they're not going to grow in the business. It is really important that we set the tempo of how we want the business to flow and how we want people to respond in difficult situations.
That's good. Okay, I'm going to ask the question from you guys. How many of you have worked for a boss or a manager who was easily angered? What do you remember about them? That. The eggshells you walked on and trying to figure out, okay, how do I not make this person mad? So it really kills the good feels that you get at work. I'm going to talk about no record of wrongs. That love keeps no records of wrongs. I've worked at places you have to keep records. I get that, and if people are written up, you need to keep that. But just I've worked at a couple places where they enjoy keeping files on everyone, and they just say, well, there's stuff in your file. You're like, what is in my file? And it's just something that they would hang over your head, and that you would wonder, what is it? And they told everybody, well, we're watching, we're putting stuff in your file. That's the wrong way to go. So as a boss, if there's somebody that has been written up and you think they're not working here, let them go. Love them enough to let them be free into their next. And if you do want to keep them, develop them. Don't hang stuff over their heads. So don't keep records of wrong as a business leader. Nobody appreciates that. Well, appreciate this love tidbits in the workplace. And you may think, well, I didn't know you could integrate love. All the fruit of the Spirit as a believer needs to be involved in the workplace. Caitlin Tracy is with us tonight. Hello, Caitlin. And also Andrea Curtis. Elvira Villarreal is watching. Hello, Elvira. Okay, we're getting some questions in. Keep the questions coming. Here's the first one. I have a photography business for years, but don't have the time to dedicate to it like I once did. I'm trying to decide if I should keep it, convert it back to a hobby, or step away from it altogether. Any clarity to this? Okay, use your mic here.
I know that creative people need to create. And so I would ask you, where are you on the scale? What does your photography do for you? Do you use it as a medium to help in creation? Because the very first aspect we learn about God is that he's a creator. And his people should be creative. And I believe that we're coming into a time, a season where the creatives are really going to take the lead. Books are being written like crazy. People that never thought they would write a book are writing books right now. All of the creative aspects God is about to pull into play in a big way, but we have to be fully committed. So I would ask you to kind of, where is this on my scale? Is this a hobby for me, or is this a passion for me? And if it's a passion for you, then God has placed that in there for his kingdom, and really probably for such a time as this.
That's good. Any other insight on that? Okay, Duana?
I think really one of the hardest things to do is to start a business. And really, once you get past the starting of it, even though you may have some up and downs and there may be some valleys and some high points in that, it is the momentum that can move you forward. So if you've already got yourself established and you have yourself established, my suggestion would be maybe you might have a season where you might need to pull back while you're working on some other things. Don't let that die, because that could be a source and a stream of income for you and for your family that could bless you, as well as in the right moment, you could expand that so that the weight of it's not on you, and you can bring in other employees and other photographers who could work along your side. And particularly in real estate, photography is a really big deal. We're doing drones, we're doing house photos, and land photos. So there's a lot of opportunities. Plus,
If you're tired of doing people, do
yeah,
houses.
there's other things, as well as art, and as well as taking care of portraits.
Okay, that's good. Ellie, were you going to say something?
So I think too, just to think about resetting your goals, recasting a vision for your business, because it once was one thing and now it's something different. And so I think it's really important to think about recasting. What does your photography business look like? Is it, I work 5 times a month, or I work 2 weekends a month? And balance your life so that you can do both things. Again, with Christine's comment, if it's still a passion for you, and Duana as well, that it can be a great stream of income, but recast your vision.
Okay, that's good. Any other words of advice? Okay, that was from Mindy McGee.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Mindy, you're incredible. Yeah, we love Mindy. We love her art. So you heard from us tonight. Here's a good question. This is a timely question. I was told I shouldn't put my face on my business because if people see a black person behind the business, they may not want to do business with me. What are you all's suggestions on overcoming those objections?
I have something, and that makes me, that's the question kind of makes me sad, but I want to tell you there's nothing more appealing than a smile, and people remember a face and a smile. I think it's important to go ahead and market and go ahead and show that beautiful heart through your smile.
Okay.
And I know that successful business comes out of who you are. So what you're doing in the business world is just an extension of who you are. And I want to know who you are. If I'm looking at the business, and I'm not sure what medium your business is, but I want to know who it is I'm working with, and I want to know their heart, and I want to know who they are. So I would say to you, I would just encourage you, be all there.
Okay, that's good.
The first thing that came to me is that if someone doesn't want to do business with you because you have more melanin in your skin than they do, you don't want them as a customer anyway.
Good.
And I think sometimes in business, we want to hide who we are, even as Christians, because we want to be effective for everybody else. But we're most effective when we are who we are in Christ and in our own self.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
And I will say too that, there are definitely opportunities to be not used as a bad word, but leveraged as a minority, because you bring a different perspective and a different lens to things. And so I know when I worked on things in training, I would try to incorporate people that are minorities so that I could get that perspective in. So actually having the face on your business would make it easier for me to recognize that you'd be someone that I could bring in for that. So I wouldn't be ashamed of it. It is who you are. God made you that way, and we need your perspective.
Yeah. And go ahead, Christy.
Just saying that was good.
Yeah. I feel prophetically we are in a reset with race relations. Yes. Obviously. We're coming right out of this COVID crisis. Where did that go, by the way? Coming right out of COVID-19 and went boom right into racial turmoil that we've all visited before. But this time it's different. People have been cooped up in their houses for 2.5 months thinking. Some are angry, some are frustrated. And now the whole nation and the whole world is focused on this. For real right now. It's not just Black Lives Matter. Everybody's focused. If they want to or not, they're focused. And so I sense that there is a shift coming.
Yes.
I sense that the races are going to become more gelled together, more harmonious. Right now, it doesn't quite look like it, but there's always process before promotion.
Yes.
And process is messy. So things are being rearranged right now, and there's about to be promotion of race relations. So I think, put your face. We want to see. Now, especially when I tell y'all who this is, you'll be like, yes, Kiara Daniels. Yeah, we want to see who you are. That's
She's
great.
beautiful inside and out.
Yeah, she is beautiful. Marco Luna is watching. Hello, Marco. Pastor Emil Shinoda went to Egypt with us. Pastors a wonderful church in Los Angeles. David Carpenter is watching. Ariel McGeehee, Matt Horton, Linda Sharp from Corsicana. Theo Acker, businesswoman. Love Theo. Shelly put Kiara Daniels. Girl, you are the whole package. You are beautiful, classy, and sharp. And she put in caps, use your face. And Denise said, Kiara Daniels, yes, do it, sister. So, we don't have any more questions right now, but here's what I would like this team to do. There was a response to you, Ellie. I think it was Mark, unless you just typed. You didn't type. It was your husband, Mark, said, right, Ellie, you have to coach and build people up. I have always believed that people quit people, not a job. Yeah, that is good. So tonight, if you have other questions, these were two great questions, and I think these people helped you. Tonight, if you have any more questions about business, please send them in. But now we're going to just move into prophesying into you, prophesying into your business. Those of you who are watching that are saying, why am I tuned on here tonight? Because I don't have a business. You may have an idea. You may have an invention. You may have things that you don't even know yet that are going to be activated tonight. Right before we started tonight, I was on the phone with Dr. Marilyn Hickey, and I asked her to pray over this team. And here's what she said. She goes, Lord, let something historic happen tonight. So we're believing that someone's future is going to be shifted through a prophetic word, through things that we're saying inspired by the Spirit. So tonight, what do you guys got?
Well, when Pastor said the word idea, I heard germinate. I heard the word germinate. Ideas germinate in our hearts. They germinate in our thoughts. And when God is ready to birth something, he's going to germinate an idea in you. And for those of you that maybe this is new to you, let that germinate. You don't have to start with the business plan. You don't have to start with, here is, all of the details in place. I don't start with the details. If I have to start with the details, I feel all bogged down. I can't do it. And yet I am a person that knows how to see things to the end and bring them to completion and bring them to life. But what I do is I let the creative process have its way. And then when it's just like birthed inside of me, then all of the details, I can see them. And I begin to really just put one foot in front of the other, just one foot in front of the other, until the thing really begins to take life. So that really is the creative process, the entrepreneurial process. I read a book that said entrepreneurs are those that create out of nothing kingdom ideas that bring order to chaos, and they bring solutions. But that is a partnership with the Holy Spirit. So let him germinate that idea and then ask him for the wisdom steps that you need to bring it all the way to life.
That's good, Christine. I have a question for, I guess, three of these people here. Jeff, how close in age are your daughters?
14, I had to think that through. 14, 18, and 21.
Okay.
No,
Close.
14, 19, 20. And I'd say I am in trouble now.
14, 19, and 21. DeWanna, your three kids.
Yes.
What's their ages?
My three kids are 14. My son's 14. My daughter's 15, and Rachel's 18.
Okay. You guys have three kids. The Gates, how close are they?
28 months apart. So I've got a 19-year-old, an 18-year-old, and a 17-year-old.
Okay. Christy, you have three kids.
8, 11, and 13.
Okay. How many kids do you have? Okay. What are their age difference?
11, 20, and 22.
Okay. Christine, you have two.
No, I have 6.
3. Oh, you have 6. You're right. Two with. You're right. What are the ages?
I have a 14-year-old, one that will be 16 next week, one that is 28, one that is 34, one that I'm in so much trouble, one that is 36, and one that will be 40.
Can you believe she has a 40-year-old?
She's my stepdaughter. I'm not
Okay,
that old.
okay. That's like, wait a minute. Okay, and Lawanda, you have 1. And he's how old? 30. Okay. Now, I asked first of all the ones with multiple kids because I knew some of them were very close together. I knew the Gates especially were 28 months. What were y'all thinking? Because kids are expensive, you know? And so, Jeff, when you started thinking about kids, could you afford them when you had them?
I think kids are something you never really can afford. If you're waiting for the perfect timing, it's not going to happen.
Right.
Now, my wife and myself, we did wait 3 years, and we did say, okay, we spent enough time together. We're ready to bring a child into this. So we were very planning. Now, after that, we had another one right after that. So,
Right.
but lining everything out, life doesn't work that way.
No. Where I'm going with this. This is a prophetic word for someone who was thinking before COVID that you were about to start a business, and now you pull the plug on it because you're like, I don't know what the economy is going to be doing. What God ordains, He sustains. So what He has put His seal of approval on, He is not bothered by the economy. He owns all the gold and silver. So if you're thinking, I'm going to wait till I can afford it, you'll be waiting forever. So just step out.
Can I add on to that?
Yes.
So I actually had a similar word, that there's someone on this call who has scrapped plans for a business multiple times because of this same issue. And, God provides seed for the sower. He provides ideas for the entrepreneur, and what he guides, He will provide. And so I just want to affirm that
That's
word
good.
from Pastor John.
Thank you, Ellie. Mandy?
I just felt that there are some people that have already started their business, they're in the process, and they are frustrated over the lack of productivity. And I'm just going to encourage you to push forward, that there is a promised land, and you just need to keep pushing because you're about to break through.
That's good. Christy?
I had the feeling that there's somebody with us that is afraid to step out, that is afraid to move in that. And so I just want to speak again, confidence to you, that God has got you and God is with you, and that it doesn't have to be, I don't know for me if I was just waiting for the big idea or what it was, but that it doesn't have to be this grandiose big idea. You need to look around you and what is your hand already busy doing? And how can you move that into a direction and allow God to use that?
That's good.
I wanted to follow up. I mean, how many of you have had a thought, man, if somebody invented this thing, it would change everything. I just wish somebody would just invent that. It would be amazing. Maybe that person's you. And maybe you're thinking, okay, well, I'm not smart enough. I don't have enough money. I don't have this. God has everything.
Right.
If God's telling you to go that way, you go that way. He will fill in the lack that you don't have.
That's good. That's good. Do you have something, Wanda?
Yeah, and I felt like what I had went right in line with y'all's, that there's someone out there that you keep talking yourself out of it, but it's coming out of, I'm not enough, that you don't think you've got enough to get in yourself, that there's just not enough there. And just keep lining yourself up with who the Word says that you are until you believe it, because you are enough.
That's
And
great.
can I say too, Pastor John? I mean, my husband and I are business coaches, and if you do have an idea and you want some help, we are happy to sit down with you and even get you started in figuring out what that looks like for you.
Yeah, that's great.
And let me add this too. Taking a step and falling down is part of the process. And just get back up. Just get back up and try again. And there's going to be all kinds of things that come to bring distraction or bring discouragement, or but don't ever think you don't have what it takes, because what it takes is just perseverance. That's really what it takes. It takes some people coming around you. It takes some things that God will bring, but ultimately what it takes is perseverance, and failure really is where we learn. So
Absolutely.
I wanted to say something as well. I felt like that there is someone who is questioning and wondering, is this really the right thing that I'm supposed to do? Is this the right business that I'm supposed to start? Is this really the step that I'm supposed to take? And God is calling you to check your heart for peace. Because when it's God, there's peace over it. There might be excitement, there might be a little bit of angst because you're nervous, but there will be a peace that's an inner peace that's I know that I know that I know when you hear the voice of God. So watch for that peace in your heart.
Right. So somebody, Kiara said, that's me. I've been building my confidence over the years. Afraid to step out, but now I'm a full-time student and entrepreneur. That's good. Pastor Michael said, y'all better prophesy. That's good. Pastor Corey, you're trying to tell me something. I don't know what that was it. Okay. I'm horrible at reading lips. So I'll just say, what is it? Any other prophetic words? These are great tonight. Okay. Well, we're not going to make them up. We want to thank you for joining with us tonight. We believe in you. And you have those creative ideas. You want to start a business. Do it. Step out in faith. Get a mentor. Get someone. Get a coach. Get involved in the process. And like Christine said, you don't have to have it all figured out. Just say, God, I'm ready. So I want you to place your hand on your heart, but I want y'all to stretch your hands towards them, okay? And I want you to repeat after me. And you may say, the furthest thing from my mind is starting a business. Well, that was the furthest thing from my mind and my wife's mind a few years ago, and we both have our own things going right now. So and when you begin to declare these things, it's going to activate something in your spirit. So I want you to repeat after me. Father God, I thank you for what you have made me to be. I am an individual. I am creative. And you are sparking something in me. I want to reach my potential. So activate everything inside of me. And I won't be afraid of it. I will step out in faith. I am ready. Because you say so. I am your favored child. In Jesus' name, amen. Now, watch it happen. Activate it. We love you guys. This Friday night, I want you to tune back in on this channel, Freedom Fellowship, and we're going to be live at 9 Central Standard Time with Russell Mills. He is in Minneapolis, Minnesota, right in the epicenter, and we're talking about racial healing. That's what relationship healing. It's miracle night. Our nation needs a miracle. So we're going to be prophesying into this situation, praying, and I'm expecting great things. Well, thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you guys. This has been a joy. These are my friends. I love them, and I love what they're doing in the kingdom. God bless. Love you guys.